Okay. Are we back? Are we back? Okay. So it looks like we are up and running again. I don't know what happened there. I'll just wait for the other rest of the team to get online, but I will fire up the chart and let's see if it works this time. Okay. How about now?
Actually, hold on. Let me refresh YouTube.
Yeah, it looks like we're okay. Everybody's saying we're good.
Do we have the first part of the show, the first recording?
Okay, everybody's saying we're good.
Do we have the first part of the show, the first recording? Bender?
I can hear myself in somebody's background over there. We got all kinds of technical issues this morning, so that's a good time.
Yes.
Hells, it's on YouTube. I'm not sure. Yeah, it would have streamed live to YouTube. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know what the. Well, he was asking if we had the first part of the show. Okay. Anyway, let's move on so we don't run out of time.
Seeing that all the momentum is being killed because of the fucking nerds.
Yeah, that's the first time it's ever done that to me. I don't know what was going on, why it wasn't. I have no idea. No answer. But okay, so we kind of talked through these hourly candles, pulling down into these fair value gaps and then firing. We've taken out all the stops that we started with these at 42.64. Then we took out this level where you could see quote unquote resistance in here. When the market starts moving up and decides it's moving up, same thing to the downside, right? When it starts moving in a direction and it's moving with intent and momentum like this, it's going to take out stops. It's going to go take these levels, right? So we took out 4,300 or 4,303, which is where this was at. So the next thing we got is 43.66 half, right? That's this candle's high right here. And then you can imagine, you can see, again, these are hourly candles, but you can see how right in here, you can bet that right up in here, there's some folks that think we're not going to clear this, right? Or if they're looking for, man, if it just gets right back up in here, this area is resistance, and I'll try to short it, right up around that 4,400 level. If I was looking to short it, I wouldn't do it into this. I wouldn't do it until it was to break above and then pull back, wait for that market structure shift to then push down. I'm not saying short. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it until, if you were looking to do it, I wouldn't be doing it until it got over 43.66 half, and then maybe you get that market structure shift to pull it back down a little bit. And know that, if it pulls down into that and then back up through it, you got to be out. You got to be covering. And then the next opportunity for me wouldn't be until it's over 4,400. So if it gets through this 4,400, you can see this candle's high didn't take out this previous high. So that's still sitting there, right? And that is 44.30. And from there, look at this. So we talked about this a lot. When it moves quickly one direction, it also means that it can move very quickly back the other way because there's not a whole lot in there, right? There's not a whole lot of back and forth type action like we had in here. Right? when we got up into this area, we then gapped down and then had to turn around and push back through it. You don't have that in here. So, if it pushes up above this 4430 level, maybe it pulls back down a little bit. Maybe you get a pullback in there. But if it gets above that and that becomes support, you can see it filling in this area in here pretty quickly, which takes it up to 4,500. And then you got this candle's high, 45.06 half. So that's kind of the trajectory if it's going to keep moving up. Now, if I take this candle or this box right here and just kind of stretch this out, you can see that this area was resistance, then it became support. Does it act as resistance again, or do we just go ahead and push right through it? Well, if seasonality holds true, and if we are going to get, that big push to finish the year, well, really we should push through it and come up here and take this at a minimum, this 44.30.75. Doesn't mean it's not going to pull back along the way. Obviously, there's a plethora of things that can change the landscape and cause this to reverse, but I want to keep an eye on this as well. This 43.25.25, you can see that if they want to scare everybody out or take a bunch of stops, that would be 30 down, 27 down from here. And if they were to do that, that's where I would be looking for, that potential market structure shift after taking that, then see what kind of reaction it gets, right? Does it take it, pop back above, maybe make a slightly lower low, and then pop back above the candle that starts the sell to make that slightly lower low? That's kind of what I would be looking for if it came down into here. Zooming into a 5-minute, it's like this candle's ridiculous, right? And this is tough as far as an entry goes, right? You could use the midpoint of this candle, as a possibility, but when you have this kind of candle, it's like, okay, if it decides to pull into this candle, where does it stop? Does it stop at the midpoint, or does it come all the way down here? That's, let's see what you got. 43.44 here to the bottom, 43.37 half, and not many people are going to want to take 7 points of heat. So you got to be very careful if you're looking to enter on an early pullback, because a lot of times you'll go, oh, cool, we got a pullback. It's midpoint in this candle, and then it goes ahead, decides to go fill that in. I think that's about all I got. We talked about the levels above, talked about the levels below, and we had some technical difficulty, but I think that's about all I got. So.
Fantastic, Bender. That's amazing.
You're such a dick. Okay.
No, it's like that was a great walkthrough, man. As far as I think it is important. I'll close it out. Just, man, got sand all sloshing around in there. Sonny.
Good morning, everyone. All right. On the news side, a lot of news coming out of China. Big one was they are relaxing their stance against Micron. They said, hey, you're more than welcome to expand. We won't go after you anymore. So definitely keep an eye on Micron today. The negative news was direct foreign investment gauge turned negative for the first time in China. So that was interesting with all the other positive news they've been coming out with. Another interesting one I found was China is becoming less dependent on other developed countries for imports to drive its industrial economy. They've done more business with developing countries than they had done combined with US, Europe, and Japan. So that was pretty big news. I'm going to dig more into it to what the details are behind it. Amazon is going to shutter their apparel stores. They had opened up a few in LA, Ohio, things like that to, I guess, do a test run. They're going to shut them all down, and instead they're going to refocus all their energy on grocery. So Whole Foods, Amazon Fresh, things like that. A lot of automation going on in those places, replacing employees with self-checkout and kiosks, especially at Whole Foods. Maersk, this is a large, very large, one of the biggest, I think, top 3 shipping container company in the world. And their Q3 profits, revenue has declined quite a bit. They're laying off 10,000 jobs. They see shipping to go down even further, more sluggish. The net profit dipped to $521 million against $8.9 billion a year earlier. So big news. So there are quite a few shipping companies traded. I think GOLS is one of them that gets a ship that does have high short interest. Keep an eye on those. XAI, this is Elon Musk AI startup. They're going to launch their first AI model to compete with Google and Microsoft. So FTNT had ER yesterday. It shit the bed, and it took pretty much all the cybersecurity companies down with it. Palo Alto, Cloudflare, CrowdStrike, Zscaler. So with this push up, that may be a nice buying opportunity there. One of the other ones Okta got hacked, so that also helped bring down quite a few of these. I'll definitely be looking for an opportunity to get in there. Neo is laying off 10% of their staff, even though their numbers have been going up. Again, like I said, it's been very China-centric. BOEs, they've been making quite a few statements how inflation hasn't come down. They're not even thinking about cutting rates. They may go up again, and they're still putting statements out. So watch those. On the dark pool side, we did have a large in Penn, PENN. So I think the Penn catalyst is they're spring, they have a partnership with Disney Plus, ESPN. So they are going to go live right before Thanksgiving. So I believe that may be the catalyst for that large dark pool and flow activity that's been coming in there. CAT. So they had a 2 million share dark pool during the market hours, and then another 2 million that came in after hours. So definitely have those lines on your chart. Dark pools are posted in maroon if you want to look. Other large ones were AMD, TJX. TJX has been getting dark pools for, I think, over a week straight. RTX, same story. There's been getting a lot of dark pool activity. Adobe, nice little dark pool in there. On the sector side, it was XLP, and the ETF was FXI. It's been getting dark pools for about 5 days straight. That's about it.
Thank you, Sonny. So shippers, eh?
Shippers, eh? Yep. Keep an eye on retail names and shippers.
It's really interesting. All right. Well, I think that's it, everybody. I think that's all we got. I think one of the things that Bender said was pretty important. If you are looking to try to short this runaway freight train, make sure you're picking your spot. You might want to expand out a little bit. It's just like when we were going down, could you catch some pretty good pop moves to the upside? Absolutely. But you had to be nimble with them. The momentum wasn't in your direction. So until that fades, and when he talks about a market structure shift, until that changes, the eye needs to be more on buy the dip until it's not. if you're trying to play the trend. So something to keep in mind. Now, market structure shift is market structure shift depending on your time frame. And you can use it on a 15-second, works just fine. But your trade is going to be about 3 minutes, unless you catch a true runner. But if you're looking at these longer time frames, like at a minimum a 5 minute, like he had posted earlier, it's like that's something that, make sure that you're looking at. Outside of that, we started off the show by saying that, we called quite a bit. We nailed quite a bit. But the thing about trading and the thing about life is what's past is past. So whatever success, whatever joy, whatever elation, whatever that is that you were able to achieve, and even if we're to the negative, whatever whooping that you took, this storm for this week has passed. The big things that we talked about have passed. And if you're still here, that means you survived, which means there's a chance to thrive. So keep all of that in mind. Make sure that you're taking the flow for what it is and not what you want it to be. And let's close out one hell of a week and go into the weekend happy. That's all I got. You guys have anything else?
Nope.
No, I thought you were going to finish off with something else. Yell at me some more or something.
Is this better? Is this acceptable?
And I think you need a couple of more shots of espresso, and then we can game on.
Yeah, man, we're gonna rock and roll today. I don't think we got stonks in any capacity. So, I mean, if they want to pace me, man, we're gonna party. If they ain't gonna pace me, well,
let's do it.
Can't do anything about that. We'll see you guys soon.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone.
See you shortly.